So the viewers may remember that not too long ago, we purchased an old tractor from our farmer friend. Well, that tractor hasn't really performed as expected. It seems like for every hour you put riding it, you put 5 or 6 hours into fixing it. So kind of got to a point where we were tired of doing that. Purchased another one at auction, and so the red one we're going to fix up and sell it, try to get our money back out of that one. But then now we have this one. So tell us a little bit about this tractor.
This is a Ford 2000 1969 model, which this one's about 15 years newer than the other one that we had. I decided to go with this one because a friend of mine, he has a Ford 5000, and so he knows a lot about them. He's fixed up his own tractor, and he actually went out and looked at this one with me and said that it was a good tractor. There was a few things that needed to be fixed on it. There was a few leaks here and there, but he said that it didn't seem like anything major to him. So I went ahead and got it at the auction, and we took it out to his house and spent a day or two doing some work on it. Like, it was leaking some oil, so we had to get a new gasket for the oil pan, and there was some other things that needed to be done. We got it to where it's working pretty well, and it starts up pretty easily. That's the main problem that I probably had with the other one, is it was a little harder to start, and so I don't know what the problem is with that. But I got frustrated with it, and my friend Danny, he likes the Fords, and so since he seemed to like to work on those, I thought, well, maybe that'd be better for me to get something like that, because he seems more interested in trying to help me. So that's why we got this, and this seems to work a little bit better. It's about the same size, maybe just a tad bigger, and I don't really notice it being much bigger, but the horsepower is about the same, but it seems to do a little bit better with pulling the dirt with the box blade. So it may be a tad bigger, but I like it. It seems to do the work pretty well. It was a little bit of an adjustment. It's got power steering, which the other one didn't, and so it makes it a lot easier to drive, and it's got some dents and stuff in it, like here, and then of course there's some dents here.
Look at that fancy bumper.
Covered it up with that, so that way if they hit something, it won't bend anything up. Of course, whenever I first saw it, I kind of laughed at it and walked by it, but whenever I started really looking at it, one of the things at the auction that I noticed is a lot of tractors, people will try to clean them up and make them look really nice and all that kind of stuff, and usually there's the people go to one or two extremes. It's in really bad shape, and you just glance at it and you go, oh my goodness, and you walk by it, and you're just like, oh, I don't even want to mess with that. Or you can tell that somebody has recently done painting, they've done stuff on it, so it looks like they're fixing it up to try to sell it. This one didn't look that way. It looked like it was kind of there in the middle. It looked like it was somebody that was just trying to get rid of it. If you look here, you can tell that it's got some, warts and stuff on it. You can see some rust and stuff like that. It looks like it had been used. And
so they didn't just try to spit shine it.
Yeah, they didn't try to spit shine it, which that seemed very attractive to me, because it seemed like, okay, I'm seeing really what it is.
Yeah.
Instead of just somebody just trying to throw some paint on it and trying to make some money off of it real quick. And even though this one doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't look as nice as the Ferguson, it seems to be much more reliable. Whenever I try to start it, it starts right up, and that's the main thing, is getting something that's dependable. And whenever we were looking at getting another tractor to replace that Ferguson, we were even thinking about getting start looking at some of the new ones. But shoot, just get a decent one that's about this size is going to cost you $20,000, and you're talking about hundreds of dollars a month in payments.
I can't see putting that kind of money into a brand new tractor. I mean, unless you really have a business that you're going to be able to recoup that money.
Yeah, I mean, people do it, but I don't. For me, I just didn't feel comfortable with doing something like that. And I mean, people do it all the time, but I know you're taking your chances with getting an older one, and I've only put 4 or 5 hours on this, so who knows, really what it's gonna be like. But you can put a lot of money into parts before you get anywhere near 20,000. And if you've got somebody that or you can become friends with somebody that works on tractors, you go buy the parts, and you're able to pay them so much to help you put them on or whatever. If you were going to take this to a mechanic to work on and pay, $100 an hour, yeah, that would really go up in, you'd be spending a lot of money real quick. But if you can find somebody that is that's knowledgeable in them, or can help you with quite a bit of stuff, and maybe be able to get a deal or something with them, you may be better off with going with a slightly older one, because a lot of the newer ones have trouble too. They have trouble, and we've heard horror stories over that. And I just hate to sink $20,000, $15,000-$20,000 into a tractor, and then just have it set. With what we did with ours, we didn't, the other one, we didn't sink nearly that much, and it sat for quite a while, and I got really frustrated over it. But I know I would have gotten much more frustrated if we would have gotten a new one and that happened. Well, our neighbor, he has a Ford, and he says the parts for these are pretty cheap compared to other things. And these, they kind of overbuilt them a little bit compared to the newer ones. They knew that they would be used out in the field. Ford and other companies put more into them to make them a little stronger and be able to deal with some of that abuse. Now, it's like, hey, can we make this just a little bit thinner, this metal a little bit thinner? That way, we can make a couple more cents off of each of these off of this part, or save a cent or two. Yeah. And so, I think there's a lot more of that goes on now than what there used to be. And so they look at the average case, or what they expect to be the normal case. But all I know is even with the new ones, you can have problems. That's really what I'm trying to say. And so, I don't know, with the old ones, you can have problems too. There's a lot of people around where we live, they seem to be, they know a little bit about cars, or they've got, the same kind of tractor or whatever. And quite often they're willing to, come over and take a look at it.
So the bottom line is you got to do what's best for your situation. Yeah. For our situation, we knew that we had at least one person who would be able to help us if you ran into a problem that you couldn't fix on your own. For some people, they may not have that, and so maybe a brand new one is an option for them. But this is what we had to do for our situation that best fit us, was to find one at auction and then do a little bit of work on it. So, all right, well, thanks for showing your new tractor.
Okay.